Most of minimalism is about sorting out, as not all things are equal. Some of them are more valuable and meaningful than others. Some items in our life are like poems, some are like short stories, and some items are like mundane and bored tweets. As for me, I personally prefer to keep the poems. I always keep the poems, and I don't see any reason and value in decluttering everything. As one amazing commenter said here once about traditional minimalists, it seems like they have decluttered their soul. And I find a lot of humor in this phrase. I think it's funny, but as we Russians say here, every joke has a little bit of a joke in it, meaning that jokes are basically not jokes at all. Hey my friends, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Anna and this is my channel about everything that is mindful and creative. So over the years I have accumulated a lot of memories, and many of those memories are kind of encapsulated in material things. Do those items bring me joy? Yeah, probably. Do they bring me sadness? For sure. Do I want to declutter them? No, not all of them. I've been running a lot from stuff in my life, you know, as if trying to avoid those bullets of sadness, like shooting here and there. But in the past years, I just got one of the biggest realizations in my life, that there is no use in trying to get rid of your sad feelings. Looking at things, our sentimental items, we can feel sad because the moment or the moments are gone and will never be back again. People are slipping away, as Moby sang, and as Van Gogh said, the sadness will last forever. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, I mean the sadness, because as we people are not always like those beams of light, and we have our shadows, we have our deep closets inside, and things are material things are just the same. So in today's video I'm going to talk about 5 categories of sentimental items that I'm refusing to declutter as a minimalist. There's something so special about old photographs. I mean, old, textured, stained, sometimes creased. As my husband beautifully put it, those photographs bear warmth of so many people that touch them. They have imprints kind of of those people. They bear those little particles of life. And of course, it's good to have a lot of memories and photographs digitized, but I want to have a handful, just a handful of very special, alive and meaningful photographs. Because touching them, I can kind of touch through time. And I'm obviously a kinesthetic. I mean, like, this is the way of how I perceive life and the world. I need to touch, I need to smell to have a full featured memory experience, not just blankly looking at the screen. And look at this. So we got this photo years at a flea market in Tbilisi, my husband and I, and on that market they sell a lot of different things, old and very old, precious and cheap, all kinds of old photos. And you know, those photos from the times when being photographed was a real event, not just an insignificant moment, one of many. And maybe that's why this photo feels so precious. We bought it just for a fraction of money and we still keep it. And I don't know how to express it, but you know, sometimes it's just necessary, and we should keep certain items just as a tribute to someone's life, even if we haven't known them in person and we don't even know their name. As a loner, I don't have a ton of friends who keep sending me mails and postcards year after year, just heaps of them. But I always keep some postcards that my cousin brings me from her trips, and also the ones from my friend Lilia. And I keep all the letters, handwritten letters from my husband and his family. And again, those items are just full of life and vibrant and meaningful to me. But to be fair, when I broke with my ex-partners, I decluttered everything that had anything to do with them. And it was so liberating, and that's where I got ruthless. Because I cannot stand any clutter from my previous relationships, because I need so much more space for my present. Right now, I don't know how about books, but at least one book will stay with me forever. And of course, it's from my childhood. So it's the one written by a Swedish writer, Astrid Lindgren, and translated by a brilliant Russian translator, Liliana Lungina. It's called Carlson on the Rooftop. This book looks very ancient. It was published in 1974, and it has seen a lot of laughter, a lot of food, bad mood, dreams. And every time I want to feel that very special, carefree breeze of an ordinary childhood day, I take this book. And I know it's super cheesy, I don't know, very sentimental, but I don't care. I'm not ashamed of it. I am an adult in so many situations in my life that I can allow myself being a child for an hour or two. This shirt that I'm wearing is a very special one. It was bought 12 years ago. I got it in Moscow while I was still living there, and back then I had no idea that I would wear it on my wedding day, on our wedding day, some years ago, maybe like six years ago in Tbilisi, the Republic of Georgia. And back then it was of an off-white color, but then I weirdly dyed it. And right now it has some holes in the lacy part, and I want to replace the lace. And I have decided that it will be my sentimental clothing item that I rarely wear, almost never, maybe like some special occasions, but I will never declutter it. My father used to keep an awful synthetic shirt that was gifted to him by his best friend who passed away long before my dad. And my mother used to keep a tiny blue dress with white flowers, my first dress ever. And I didn't understand why she did that until recently. I just realized why she did. These things remind us of how transient is life and how time passes by very quickly. It's like it's a reminder to us to appreciate the moment that is given right now, because it will never be repeated. And keeping clothing as sentimental items also brings much more freedom of the way you want to transform them and fill them with new meaning. So you can make something completely different out of them, and I think it's beautiful. Well, it's not truly a category. It can be anything: a spoon, an old photo camera, shoelaces, artwork, just anything that tells you a very special story. Just like this one, a tiny ceramic figurine. Can you see it? It's an indigenous person I guess from Russian North. And this figurine was given to me by a very old babushka Zoya on a very cold spring day in Siberia. I helped that old lady to carry her groceries, and she invited me in and rambled. She was living alone and clearly couldn't take care of herself anymore. She didn't use the fridge in order to save money on utilities. She used her balcony. She kept everything there, and so everything was very dirty. Babushka Zoya said that her daughter was soon coming there to take care of her, and then she said that she wanted to give me something to remember her, and she said, just choose whatever you want. And I looked around and I saw a very old Soviet bookcase just loaded with clutter, all sorts of clutter, including ceramic figurines of all kinds, just from the Soviet times. And I chose that one little figurine to remember Babushka Zoya. And will I ever declutter it? Nope. Intentional minimalism is about letting go of everything that no longer bears any meaning and saving everything that brings you back to your real self. Sometimes we can get lost in life, and it can be difficult to find our way through the sterile, white and clutter-free corridors of the newly created reality. And this is where we need those little beacons, just a handful of them, or a small bag of them, or whatever works for you, whatever makes you feel alive, and whatever makes you remember a story that you've almost forgotten. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Let me know in the comments what you think about decluttering sentimental items, which ones you have, which ones you will never get rid of, and why. I'm very interested to know. So, and you have a lovely day. See you in the next video, and пока-пока.